All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about a trait that so many of us secretly wear like a badge of honor. You know the one, that go-to answer in a job interview. Well, today we're going to call it what it really is. And spoiler alert, it isn't a virtue. Oh yeah, we've all heard this one. And hey, let's be real, a lot of us have probably said it. It just sounds so good, doesn't it? It's like a humble brag that says, I care so much, my standards are just too high. It's the perfect way to make a flaw sound like a superpower. But the source material for today's explainer, it calls that out for what it is. It's not a badge of honor. It's a shield, and it's a heavy one, a 20-ton shield that's hiding something much, much simpler. Plain old fear. See, at its very core, perfectionism isn't really about the pursuit of excellence. It's actually a super inefficient, roundabout way of avoiding fear. That shield feels like it's protecting you, right? Protecting you from judgment. But what it's really doing is stopping you from ever getting in the ring in the first place. When you dig down, it's pretty simple. It's the fear of failure, which means you never even start. It's the fear of embarrassment, of looking bad. So you plan and prepare and research yourself into total paralysis. And maybe the scariest one of all, it's the deep, nagging fear of just being, well, average. So you burn yourself out chasing this impossible idea of perfection. So let's unpack the really flawed logic that's powering all this fear. It all starts with a way of thinking that the book calls binary thinking. You know, like a switch. It's either on or it's off. There is absolutely no in between. And this slide just lays it out so perfectly. Look on the left. That's the perfectionist's world. It's black and white. It's 100% or it's zero. Getting something 99% of the way there, that's just a fancy failure. But now look at the right. The imperfectionist sees a whole spectrum. For them, progress isn't a switch, it's a dimmer dial. Even 1% is a massive win, because it means you're moving. And this mentality means that anything, short of flawless, is basically worthless. Just let that sink in for a second. That is such a brutal way to live your life. It turns every single project into this high-stakes test where the only passing grade is an A++. So what's the way out? Well, this is where it gets a little weird, and it might even feel kind of wrong. The advice is to lower the bar. No, seriously. Lower it so ridiculously low that you couldn't possibly fail to step over it. Your new standard isn't 100. It's 1. Just 1. 1 push-up, 1 sentence written down, 1 slide created. The goal here isn't to run the marathon. The goal is to just put on your running shoes. See the difference? It completely shifts the entire objective from finishing perfectly to just simply starting. Okay, next up is another huge pillar of perfectionism. It's that non-stop loop of analysis and self-criticism playing in our heads. You know, the one we tell ourselves is just us being thoughtful and prepared. But is it really? The source has a name for this: rumination. It's when you get stuck just chewing on old mistakes or imagining every possible future failure. It's like you've created a blooper reel of your worst moments and you just play it on a loop, in your head, all day long. You can tell yourself you're reviewing or learning from your mistakes, but there's a huge difference between learning and just obsessing. Replaying your failures over and over again doesn't change what happened. All it does is paralyze you for the future. So how do you break out of this cycle? The source is crystal clear on this. There is only one cure. And it's not more thinking, it's not more planning, and it's definitely not more worrying. It's just doing. And that's because even a flawed, messy step forward gives you something priceless: real-world data. It breaks you out of that mental quicksand. That terrible first draft, that clumsy attempt at a new workout. It's infinitely more valuable than the most brilliant, perfect plan that just stays in your head. All right, and finally, we've got to talk about the huge audience that's supposedly watching our every move and waiting for us to fail: everyone else. That fear of embarrassment is a massive driver of perfectionism, and it's all based on a total misunderstanding of other people. When you're a perfectionist, you live your life as if there's a giant spotlight following you around. You're the main character on stage, and you believe everyone else is in the audience just waiting for you to mess up your lines so they can judge you. But here's the hilarious and wonderful reality. People are the main characters in their own movies, not yours. They're way too busy worrying about their own problems, their own anxieties, and, yes, what they're gonna have for lunch, to spend any real energy scrutinizing you. And the takeaway here is just so freeing. That massive social risk you're so terrified of, it's pretty much all in your head. The moment you truly realize how little attention people are paying, you unlock this incredible sense of freedom. Okay, so we've ripped apart the myths, we've exposed perfectionism for the fraud that it is. So now what? Well, let's build something new. Here's a super simple, practical plan to start putting imperfectionism into action, like right now. This right here, this is your new mantra. Seriously, write it on a sticky note and put it on your monitor, because completion happens out here, in the messy, chaotic, real world. Perfection only exists in some clean, imaginary world that never actually arrives. So the whole point is to start embracing being a doer of flawed, messy things instead of a planner of perfect, imaginary things. It is always better to have a finished, imperfect project than a flawless one that only exists in your mind. So, you ready to give it a shot? Here is a dead simple challenge from the source material. It's a tiny 2-minute experiment you can do to break the cycle, and you can start it right now. And listen, don't try to do it well. In fact, I want you to try to do it badly. Just do a half-hearted job. Send that one awkward email. Write one terrible sentence. This is not about finishing the task. It's about breaking the spell of inaction with one small, wonderfully imperfect step. Just take a second and really think about that. The project you've been dreaming of, the skill you want to learn. What could you finally do if you just gave yourself permission? Permission to be a beginner, permission to be messy, permission to do it badly. That might just be the key that unlocks everything.